Welcome to the Research, Assessment, and Evaluation concentration at Virginia Commonwealth University's School of Education. In this video, we'll provide a brief overview of our program, followed by insights from our faculty and students who will share their experiences as part of the RAE community.
VCU is truly uncommon, home to nearly 29,000 students from 139 countries. Ranked among the top 20% of global universities, we're a leading research powerhouse with a 17-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio right in the heart of Richmond.
The VCU School of Education is ranked number 15 among the best public graduate schools of education nationwide, and number 2 in Virginia, according to U.S. News & World Report. We're proud to be recognized for our excellence in preparing the next generation of educational leaders and researchers.
Within the VCU School of Education, we have a wide range of research centers and institutes. These centers provide rich opportunities for collaboration, applied research, and community engagement, helping our students connect scholarship with real-world impact.
Our campus is located in Richmond, Virginia, a vibrant capital city known for its thriving arts scene and growing innovation ecosystem. Home to major companies and just 2 hours from Washington, D.C., the beach, and the Blue Ridge Mountains, Richmond offers the perfect blend of opportunity and quality of life.
Among the many doctoral programs offered in the VCU School of Education, the Research, Assessment, and Evaluation concentration stands out for its strong focus on advanced research design, data analysis, and applied evaluation. This program prepares scholars to drive evidence-based improvement and lead innovation across educational settings.
Our program is supported by 4 core faculty members and 2 affiliated faculty, each bringing unique expertise. At the end of this overview, you'll hear directly from our faculty as they share more about their work and mentoring experiences.
In our program, you'll benefit from the resources of a top-tier Research One university, with plenty of opportunities to get involved in funded projects. We're committed to applied research that makes a real difference, and we support our students with travel funding and collaborative research experiences across disciplines.
We're very proud to offer a rich set of courses that combine traditional and cutting-edge approaches to research and statistics. From multi-level modeling and structural equation modeling to mixed methods and machine learning, our students gain the skills to conduct rigorous and innovative research in education.
Our students can also dual enroll in the Graduate Certificate in Advanced Educational Statistics. This allows them to earn an additional credential that highlights their quantitative expertise while completing their doctoral degree.
Our students gain hands-on research experience from day one. You'll have the chance to collaborate on grant proposals, conduct program evaluations, publish journal articles, and present at national conferences, all while building your research portfolio.
Each year, our RAE faculty welcome new doctoral students who are passionate about exploring data-driven and innovative approaches to education. This cycle, Dr. Mike Broda, Dr. Nick Chong, and Dr. Camden Strunk are recruiting students with interests in areas such as machine learning, AI, advanced statistical methods, critical quantitative methodologies, STEM education, and queer studies in education.
Our program includes 60 credit hours, typically completed in 3 to 4 years of full-time study. Students take foundation and core research courses, advanced RAE concentration courses, and complete an externship and dissertation. Along the way, you'll also engage in hands-on research projects that connect learning to real-world impact.
To apply, you'll need a master's degree, 3 letters of recommendation, a personal statement, and an academic writing sample. A resume and transcripts from all prior coursework are also required. The GRE is optional, and international applicants should include proof of English proficiency. A brief interview may be requested as part of the review process.
Applications are due by January 15th. If you'd like to be considered for a graduate assistantship, be sure to submit your complete application by December 1st.
Graduate research assistantships are available on a competitive basis and can be offered as 9 or 12-month contracts. These positions include a tuition waiver and monthly stipend, and most students work directly with RAE faculty on active research and evaluation projects, some funded by the School of Education, others through grants and contracts.
We look forward to hearing from you and hope you'll join our community at VCU.
In the next section, you'll meet some of our RAE faculty and one of our students. Our faculty will introduce themselves, share what they teach, their research interests, and examples of the kinds of projects students often collaborate on. Then, you'll hear from one of our doctoral students, as he reflects on his learning experience in the program.
Hi everyone, and thanks so much for your interest in the Research Assessment Evaluation Program. My name is Mike Broda, and I'm an associate professor in the Foundations of Education Department, and I'm one of the core faculty in the RAE concentration. I use he, him pronouns, and I've been a faculty member here for about 10 years. So in terms of teaching, I teach courses in multivariate statistics, in multi-level modeling, and a few other special topics courses related to advanced data modeling. Building statistical models is one of my favorite parts of my job, and it also extends to my methodological specialty, which is the application of machine learning algorithms in data analysis, particularly in the social sciences, and also the use of social network analysis. That's an area that I have a lot of interest in and have had a lot of fun learning more about. In terms of areas of research I'm currently engaged in, I support a number of randomized controlled trials that look at the effectiveness of different kinds of programs and interventions, primarily for individuals with disabilities, but also students in classrooms, a lot of different areas. So statistical models around evaluating the impact of an intervention, that's one area I'm really engaged in. I'm also, as I said, engaged in a lot of making connections between machine learning algorithms and predictive modeling and applications in education. Some examples of some of the projects that students might get to join in if they work with me. So along with my colleague Nick Chang, we're the co-directors of the Centroid Applied Machine Learning Lab. And we have a number of open projects right now that we're working on with other students and faculty and postdocs. So one example, we're completing a scoping review of the applications of machine learning for data analysis in education research. And so that's doing a lot of scanning abstracts and trying to determine if articles meet our eligibility requirements, and then actually looking at the articles and trying to extract the information that we need to conduct our scoping review. So we're learning a lot about applications of machine learning in lots of different fields in education. So that's one example of an ongoing project. Anything else I'd like to add? So my favorite thing about the being in Richmond and being in VCU really is the natural areas in and around Richmond. The river is beautiful, and we have a number of trails and walkways and paths and bike trails and things that go along the river and just make the river very accessible and beautiful. So one of my favorite things to do is to just walk in the city and enjoy the hills and the nature and all sorts of things like that. So that's probably my favorite thing about Richmond. Thank you again for your interest in our program.
Hello, my name is Chinin Chen or Nick Chen. You can call me Nick. My pronouns are he or him. I'm an assistant professor in the Research Assessment and Evaluation concentration at the Department of Foundations of Education. I serve as the co-director alongside Dr. Mike Broda at the Centroid Machine Learning Lab. Currently, I'm also a faculty fellow at the International Educational Studies Center within the school. My methodological expertise includes structural equational modeling, multi-level modeling, and machine learning. At VCU, I teach quantitative methods such as quantitative research design, educational measurement, structural equational modeling, and machine learning. Regarding my research, in addition to serving as a methodologist in collaborative research projects with my colleagues and students, I focus on STEM education, STEM diversity, STEM motivation, and higher education mentorship. Currently, I'm also interested in applying in AI and machine learning in educational research with students. At our machine learning lab, Dr. Mike Broda and I work with faculty, staff, and students on several exciting projects. This year, we have submitted a few abstracts together to the American Educational Research Association annual meeting. Recently, I have also been working with students and colleagues to explore the possibility of using AI mentors to support the career development process for the STEM graduate students. This is a fun project. Our study will soon be published in a journal, Frontiers in Artificial Intelligence, which is exciting. Richmond, Virginia is a great place. You can easily travel to Washington, D.C., Virginia Beach, Shenandoah National Park, and several major cities in North Carolina. As an international scholar, I want to say that I love Richmond because the people here are welcoming, friendly, and diverse. We have great international grocery stores and restaurants. We welcome international students to join us. We have a global education office and an international educational studies center to support you. VCU is a well-known university, and our School of Education is one of the top schools in the United States. If you are interested in research methods, assessment, and evaluation, our program will be a great choice for you.
Hi, I'm Camden Strunk. I'm a professor of research methodology here in the School of Education. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm also currently interim associate dean for faculty affairs and development, and I teach in the research assessment and evaluation program. I primarily teach our quantitative methods sequence, so I teach educational statistics, quantitative research design. I also teach our critical methodologies in educational research seminar and our dissertation seminar and some of the other courses. My methodological specialty is really critical quantitative methodologies. So things like quant crit, which uses critical race theory, or quant queer, using queer theory. My current research and the research that I'm doing with some of our doctoral students focuses in a few areas. One of which is applying critical and novel methodologies to education research. So, for example, we have a National Science Foundation funded project applying some novel methods to thinking about undergraduate STEM majors, sense of climate, belonging, opportunities for success, and how those might be structurally related to things about policy or climate in terms of campus climate. And another project that's funded by the Spencer Foundation, we're looking at connections between institutional policies and practices around gender and sexuality, and how those might be shaped by state political factors and federal judicial circuits. And so we've constructed a data set and are looking at what the connections are and how institutional decision making might be constrained by things like what's going on in the state legislature, even in terms of proposed bills versus passed bills, things like that. And we're also working on some meta-analytic work, looking at the population level structure of instruments that are intended to measure experiences of racism and racist attitudes. And so within each of those, those are opportunities where doctoral students can engage. For example, a group of doc students just finished up publishing a paper with me on a sort of systematic review of the ways that people have taken up gender in critical race theory quantitative work, so quant crit work. So there's just some examples of the kinds of projects that we're involved with and that are opportunities for doctoral students to get engaged. we're looking toward expanding some of that work. And for example, we're hoping to tie some of that policy and practice work that we've been doing about gender and sexuality to student experience data. So we can add this layer of how those policies also then sort of filter down to affect the student experience and student outcomes. Yeah, so those are some examples uh, of things that we're doing. And I think, there's also a lot of things that sort of cross over multiple faculty and opportunities to get involved in labs. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about what I teach and the research that we have going on, and some different opportunities that students could be part of.
Hello, my name is David Naff, and I'm the director of the Metropolitan Educational Research Consortium, or MERC, in the School of Education at VCU. MERC is a research practice partnership that's been around since 1991, and we are in partnership with Chesterfield, Goochland, Hanover, Henrico, and Richmond Public Schools, all in the metropolitan Richmond region. Across those different school divisions, that's around 160,000 students, around 200 schools, around 14,000 or so faculty and staff that are represented. And essentially what we do is we partner with leadership in those school divisions, so superintendents, research directors, other school division leadership, to talk about issues that they're facing. And then we design and execute research studies to address those issues. And those studies are always led by faculty in the School of Education as well as students in the School of Education, particularly doctoral students. But we also have study teams that are made up of representatives from each of our different school divisions who have expertise in whatever the topic is that we're focusing on. So for example, we've had some recent studies focused on equitable access and support for advanced coursework across K-12. So like who gets identified as gifted in elementary school, who's taking Algebra 1 in middle school, and who's taking especially advanced placement and dual enrollment classes in high school. And then what are some of the disparities based off of students' race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, disability status, multilingual learner status, gender, that sort of thing. And so that study team is made up of representatives who oversee gifted programs and advanced coursework access and equity for those school divisions, along with AP teachers and other folks who are invested in that topic. And another study that we focused on recently is focusing on supporting mental health in schools. And so that study team includes folks that are school counselors, school social workers, school psychologists, and then directors of mental health support services and coordinators of those services for our school divisions. From a School of Ed doctoral student standpoint, what's really exciting about those projects is you get to plug into an existing research team that's community engaged, and you get to learn not only about the different research methodologies that we use, because we use a variety of quantitative, qualitative, literature review, policy analysis, kind of you name it, we're probably doing it with one of our studies. But you also get to engage with the local community and get involved with impact-oriented research. And those studies typically will last a couple of years that we're doing the work. We also share our findings in a variety of ways. So we have open access research reports. All of our research reports are published open access. We think that's very important to make sure that there's no paywall for anybody who's trying to access our research and use it to inform their decision-making in our school divisions especially. But we also have a podcast that we routinely host to broker conversations across research policy and practice. We do data dashboards, we do Zoom seminars. We also have an annual stakeholder summit that brings people together from across the metropolitan Richmond region. It's usually between 200 and 300 people that attend. And we just focus on all these different issues that are facing public schools, and we collaborate on them together. And that's a great opportunity for doctoral students to present and share their work, especially if they've been involved with a MERC study previously. So those are some opportunities to get involved with our core studies, but we also do quick turn research briefs that typically take around 6 to 8 weeks to complete, that's focused on immediate issues that our school divisions are facing. So we've done those focused on things like chronic absenteeism, artificial intelligence, cell phones in schools, bullying prevention, strategic planning, adolescent THC usage, a variety of different things we've focused on recently. And those are, again, really great opportunities to get plugged in and get some research practice, especially around literature review, around secondary data analysis, and around policy analysis. And so if you're interested in getting involved with any of those projects, I always send out co-curricular opportunities for doctoral students, and there's an opportunity for you to just kind of plug right into that work. And you're welcome to join us, whatever your level of experiences with research. So it's a really good entry point to getting practice with research. And those research briefs often very actively get used by our school division partners. They always talk about how valuable they are. You might also get opportunities to present to local school division leaders like superintendents, which would be really great. Merck is a part of the Institute for Collaborative Research and Evaluation that's led by Jesse Seneschal, who's also the former director of Merck. And ICER is our evaluation wing that has a lot of different community partnerships with PK-12 higher education, nonprofits, civic organizations. We've done work with University of Buffalo, with Virginia Department of Health, with some of our local school divisions, with local universities all over the place. There's all these research and evaluation projects we've gotten involved with through ICER. So there's also opportunities there for doctoral students to plug in. I'm also an assistant professor in the Department of Foundations, and typically what I teach is qualitative methods and analysis, typically in the fall semester each year. I love teaching that class because it's not only a chance to practice qualitative methods, but we also have a partnership with Strategic Enrollment Management. And so we do a community engaged project with them where we practice our qualitative methods and skills while also collecting data that informs their practice on some sort of a key issue that they're focusing on. So like the experiences of transfer students or how students make decisions to enroll in college or not. And so hopefully I potentially get a chance to have you in my class as well. That class is specifically focused on qualitative methods, but the work that we do with Merck, there's a variety of different methods that are used, and there's lots of opportunities for doctoral students to get involved. In fact, it's one of the rare places where PhD and EDT students get connected. We also work with undergraduate and master's students on our project. So we just encourage you to keep an eye out for any time I send out messages related to co-curricular opportunities for working with Merck. And then just overall, I love Richmond, this whole Richmond community. My wife and I moved here back in 2014, actually, when I attended this same doctoral program, specifically in educational psychology, had an amazing experience and decided to stick around in Richmond. The city of Richmond's fantastic. I love, as a researcher, getting to do work in this broader community because it's urban, rural, and suburban context, which is also really fascinating from a research standpoint. And there's just so much to do in metropolitan Richmond, both in the city and the city of Richmond, but also in some of the surrounding communities. So VCU is really well situated as an urban serving public research institution. I think we're a national leader in a lot of ways, and the School of Ed is really central to that. So I hope we get connected at some point on some of the Merck research that we do. And thank you for considering the School of Ed.
Hello, my name is Jesse Seneschal, and I am the Executive Director of the Institute for Collaborative Research and Evaluation. I use he, him pronouns. A little bit about ICER, the Institute. It is a center at VCU in the School of Education, and we do work, collaborative research and evaluation work in a number of different areas. ICER is relatively new. It's, I think, coming into its second year of existence, and it emerged out of the Metropolitan Educational Research Consortium, which is a research practice partnership between the School of Education and surrounding school districts. Merck grew over the last 5 to 10 years, and because of that, we grew big enough where we had to create an umbrella institute, which is ICER. I was the former director of Merck for a number of years, from 2016 through 2022. And prior to that, worked for Merck as a graduate student. And prior to that, was a high school English teacher for about 14 years. So this is my second career. My first was as a public school teacher. ICER's projects, there's a range of them. We do a lot of work in STEM education, a lot of work in professional development for teachers, student mental health, work on out of school time, early childhood. There's a wide range of topic areas that we take on. And if you go to our website, you can learn more about the types of projects that we have. Personally, I'm engaged in a number of those projects. Besides leading the Institute, I also do work. I'm very interested in engaged research methods. And so, for example, I teach a class on research practice partnerships and what it means to do collaborative partnership work with community partners, including schools. I'm also very interested in action research and have been doing and leading action research groups with teachers for a number of years. As an extension of that, I'm very interested in teacher professional learning and have a couple large projects related to teacher preparation programs, specifically teacher residency models, but also very interested in in-service teacher development. What does it mean to prepare and to continue to support teacher learning over the courses of their careers in ways that center their professionalism? Some of this work has also explored culturally responsive teaching and how to prepare teachers to work in multicultural school settings and build on students' funds of knowledge and community cultural wealth. I'm also very interested in systems change. I've got a couple projects where we're really looking at statewide systems that are designed to serve individuals and thinking about how we make systems work more efficiently by supporting collaboration and goal alignment. And finally, I'll say that I've been doing a lot of work and thinking over the last couple of years around generative AI, large language models specifically. And there's a brief that I put out about that, and along with some colleagues not too long ago. And we are starting a generative AI in research and evaluation group to kind of understand how large language models and other generative AI systems can support rigorous research and be done in ethical ways. And so I'm very excited and also concerned about AI, and I just want to think about how we can do this well. And so I'm trying to encourage conversations, not just within the Institute, but across the School of Education and beyond. Yeah. I'll just close by saying there's a lot of opportunities for engagement if you are a prospective student with ICER and with Merck. We really welcome student engagement in our projects, and we have opportunities, everything from co-curricular opportunities that might be extensions of your coursework, but also internships, paid opportunities. We take on graduate assistants at some points, depending on funding. And we are very much focused on opportunities for learning. So I would say that the work of ICER and Merck is excellent for those of you that are students. It gives you a chance to kind of apply what you're learning in classes to real world projects. We have a vast number of projects that you could potentially tap into, again, along a wide range of topics. And if you're not from Richmond, I got to say Richmond's great. I grew up in Richmond and left for college and spent a long time in Chicago, but then ended up coming back because it's a beautiful place to live. There's a river, a lot of green space. I live not too far off the river and end up doing a lot of hikes on the river because it helps me center myself. And so if you have a chance to visit Richmond, I would encourage you to do that. I think you'd find it a wonderful town, a lot of art and culture, and just a lot of good people. So, all right. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Jared, and my pronouns are he, him. I am a second-year doctoral student in the Research Assessment and Evaluation program, and I was hoping to share with you my experiences in the concentration, what drew me to this program, as well as why I've come to love Richmond. As a first-year student, I was truly surprised at the level of camaraderie and collegiality amongst all of the graduate students. The classes that you take across the program have you encounter people from different concentrations in the School of Education, as well as different cohorts. And so you're interacting with people at the same level as you, as well as people who are more advanced in their studies. These experiences really drive conversations and challenge you to develop as a scholar and as a person, because you're always encountering people with different views on what educational research looks like, different backgrounds, different perspectives, and lived experiences. And I have found all of that to be incredibly rewarding in my own personal and professional development. Furthermore, in the first year, I've been truly surprised at just how well supported students are by the RAE faculty, as well as the broader School of Education professors. The classes are very intentionally designed to build on one another, not just in the applied content like statistics, but also in the conceptual ideas and paradigms. The faculty are really committed to putting the philosophy in your Doctor of Philosophy training. And in the classroom, what that looks like is the curriculum and the projects are all designed in a way that helps you prepare for your dissertation, as well as be encouraged to submit things for conference posters, oral papers, and even journal manuscripts. Over the summer after my first year, I presented a poster at the APA conference in Denver. I have 2 proposals under consideration at the AERA conference. And one of my class projects I've even submitted for review to a educational research journal. And so the faculty are really committed to helping you develop not just as a graduate student, but also as a professional scholar. They want to help you build a strong research direction and portfolio that is defined by your interests, that is not just something that they kind of spoon feed you. You really have a lot of autonomy in deciding what you want to research and what directions that's going to take you. Another awesome part of the RAE concentration is the opportunity for real world engagement with faculty projects. I have had the chance to work on active research proposals, projects, grants. I'm currently working with a research consortium in the Richmond Public Schools, and there are even opportunities to serve as journal editorial assistants. So you get a lot of behind the scenes work as well, so that you get a sense of what it really means to be an academic. And all these experiences coalesce into a really strong preparation to enter into the professional world with robust training beyond just the classroom. You really do get that applied piece of the training. When I applied to the RAE program, I had a pretty good sense of what the curriculum and the structure looked like through the handbook and the different literatures that are out there. So I knew what classes I was going to take, what the comprehensive exams looked like, what the expectations were for dissertation, internship, and things like that. What really hooked me into applying for this program was speaking with the faculty, whether it was via Zoom interviews or email correspondence. I really got a sense that this training is grounded in a model where you are treated as a junior colleague and someday a future peer. The faculty are very collaborative in how they approach their work with you, the assignments that you get in class, the projects that you turn in at the end of semesters and things like that. And that on the other side of the admissions process, that has absolutely borne itself out as true. The faculty are truly invested in my development and growth along my own trajectory, not a pre-prescribed trajectory. And so I've really found that to be an awesome opportunity to engage and grow at my own pace and direction. Finally, a word on Richmond. It's a vibrant, diverse, supportive community that I've come to fall in love with. My kids are in awesome public schools. There are tons of parks and museums that we've explored, and there's a great food scene. It seems like we are always finding new restaurants across the different pockets of Richmond that have come to be our favorites. There's even a whitewater course that is world renowned as urban whitewater. And if you've never done that before, you can take guided trips and people will kind of introduce you to the, James River and all the wildlife and excitement that can be found there. So in the short time that I've been in Richmond, the community itself has really embraced me and made it feel like a true home. I hope my reflections have given you a glimpse into the RAE program. If you're looking for collaborative faculty, a strong research to practice focus, and a supportive city to call home, I highly encourage you to apply, to reach out to faculty with your questions, and just get the information you need to make your decision. Thanks for watching.